I had to sacrifice my free time. For me, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it 100%. So I had to devote a lot of time into learning the game and how to be successful in the game. A lot of guys, they want to come into the community and they want to, a couple fast, quick techniques. And for me, the game isn't about that. It's about learning to conquer yourself. And that's the real person that you're fighting with the whole time. You're learning how to get control over you. So I had to go through all these hills and valleys just to come to the realization that I'm my worst enemy. And the person I've been fighting the whole time with my shyness, because I was incredibly shy, was me. If you ever read those science fiction books where they always had a hero out in search of the hero's quest and there was some bad villain after him that ended up being another part of his own personality, that's what happens to a lot of us. So we have to sacrifice a part of ourselves, which is our ego. And the ego is a strong, strong enemy. It creates fear in your mind. It creates fear in your body. And it creates doubt. And I used to believe that was unattractive. And I had this whole entire negative self-image that I believed repelled people from me. I had to let go of that.
I can totally relate to this. During my own development, even when I had the harem, even when I had the multiple girlfriends, I was still thinking back to my ex-fiancée that left me for my best friend all those years ago. And it wasn't until I found peace with that, and I found my redemption in that I was able to move on and finally master what I felt was my game. So what's the way to combat yourself in this? How do you stop being your own worst enemy?
To me, it's like in The Matrix, when he took the red pill, his eyes got opened. You have to open up your eyes to the reality of it. I constantly, cruise the net, looking at forums and seeing all the guys trying to learn techniques and this and that, and learn openers and A1, A2, A3, and all this other complicated crap, when the real person they only have to conquer is themselves. If you were man enough, you wouldn't have any problems walking over to a girl and say, hey, how you doing? But these guys think that they have to go through all these trips just to walk over and say hi. And in conquering yourself, you actually learn to conquer every aspect of your life. I'm successful in my personal training business. I'm now getting on the internet. I'm successful at that. I'm learning all I can about the internet marketing and stuff like that. So in the process of learning to conquer myself in the women game, I've learned how to conquer every aspect of my life.
Okay, really important question here. Somebody is coming to you and saying, well, every other area of my life is taken care of. I'm financially secure. I am physically fit. All I'm missing is love. And I'm coming to you, and the one thing I want to learn from you is how to get over approach anxiety. What would be the first thing you tell me?
The first thing I would tell him is that there really isn't anything to fear but fear itself. I'd have him look at where the fear is coming at in his body. And that's why I created that meditation program at my website to help you identify where the fear is coming from inside your body, then get rid of it. Then I'd have him do an exercise like that. Then go out and do one of the techniques from the seduction community called walk to 50. Walk over to 50 girls, say hello, and then walk away. Simple as that. And that somewhere in the process of 50, you get over your fear of approaching.
Okay, you had mentioned your inner game meditation. Let's talk about that. Step by step, what can I expect, what in terms of results, when I do this inner game meditation?
Well, the first series of meditations that I released is for releasing fear in the body. If you have fear of approaching or you have fear of women, this meditation program will get rid of that fear of women from your body, or any other types of fear, like fear of success, fear of anything. My little brother passed away from cancer about a year ago, and I couldn't get rid of the pain of his loss. And I remembered that meditation, so I started doing it, and all of a sudden, the pain is gone. I can actually talk about him on air with you right now. Before, in the past, I couldn't even, mention his name.
My condolence on your loss of your brother. I lost a parent a couple of years ago, too, so it's not easy.
No, it's not.
So the same type of meditation to get rid of fear and approaching with women can be used to eliminate pain in other areas of your life.
Yeah, it eliminates fear. It gives you more confidence so that you can go out and approach women. It helps you create a powerful aura, of strength when you walk into a room because you don't have any fear of women. That's what holds a lot of guys back is they're really afraid to go over and say hello to a girl. And when you're in fear, you're constricting your body and you constrict your aura downwards. Instead of being a powerful source of energy when you walk into a room, a dynamo that turns everybody's heads, these guys are creeping into the room and barely even seen. I have a buddy that has this ability to just totally disappear. He's so deep in his head and so afraid that when he goes into a room, nobody even knows he's there. And he's the guy that I worked with and coached for about 5 years.
One of the things that I talk about in my book, Everything Out of Her Mouth is a Test, is the necessity for a man to be able to be honest with a woman without being afraid to make her angry. And I think that this is a common problem with guys who get into the community. They're afraid to piss off women. They are afraid to make women angry. This is why a lot of them end up being adult-aged virgins. I hold seminars for adult-aged virgins, and one of the common elements there is that they're just too afraid to make a woman angry, so they don't even approach. What would you say to a guy in that position?
Well, first of all, let's take the first part of it, telling women lies. In my sucker player game days, that's what I did. I ran around. I lied to every girl. I've broken so many hearts. It's not even funny. And I've had, girls having to go to therapy over my stupid stuff. I had one girl commit suicide. I had so much bad karma on me that, if there is a place called hell, that's where I'll probably end up. But later on in the game, I realized that it's better to be honest and tell the truth. So in the late stage of my game, I said, you know what, I'm seeing other people, but if you want to come along and have fun, because I believe a man's life is like a ship at sea going in a direction. And if women want to come along, they can have fun with you. Otherwise, they can go off in a different direction. So telling girls lies is a way of being insecure in your game. And the second thing was you have adult virgins.
Yeah.
And with virgins, in talking to them on the internet, I've noticed that there's usually something going on inside their heads as to why, I've talked to guys who are 27 years of age who are virgins, and there's something going on inside their head that's deeper than just a simple fear of women. And my recommendation for those kind of people is to begin to start looking at women like guys. A lot of us guys, we put such strong pressure on getting into the woman's vagina, having sex with them, that we forget they're people too. And we put them on pedestals. When in reality, most girls, all the girls I've known, they like the way I treat them because I treat them like a buddy. I laugh at them, I flip their lips all the time, I trip them, I treat them like we're good buddies. And they love that. So if we can get these guys to look at women as just being people, they can conquer their fear of women.
We're going to try a little something different with the show structure today because we are running out of time. This interview has been going very well. I wanted to give you the opportunity to do a product plug. What are some seminars coming out? Do you have any products coming out? And tell me a little bit more about your website.
Certainly. I have two products right now. I have the inner game meditation I talked about. Also, I have my past shows episodes. And in my past shows, I've covered everything from eye contact to the attraction game. I talked about how to lead women in conversations. I've talked about emotional value, the basics, the pimp mindset. I've talked about stuff like targeting, how to get attention, how to create arousal. I went from everything I could think of in the game. I have 180 episodes on that previous show's CD or DVD that I sent out. That's probably about 5 or 6 hours of me coaching and teaching you the games, like 8 mistakes players make in the game, environmental factors. A lot of people aren't aware of the environment they're in. It may not be conducive to what they're selling.